Galas. Galas every. Menene kuma haka?
Hello, GM. Can anybody hear me, please?
Hey, yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much, GM, everyone.
Yeah, good. You? All right. So it's time to send some shout out. Hey, Nino, welcome. Ahmed, what's up? Aisha, Alala, Aliu, Bami Chile. Oh my God, sounds like I'm taking a roll call. Yo, Kish, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
Bridget, Chibueze Serial, Donta P, Ejiofo, HOD, Ibrahim, Jason from St. Lucia, King, Mercy from Kenya, Najatu, Nestor from Chile, Obakeng, Omiale, Precious.
Hello. Hello,
Res-
everyone.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? We hear you loud and
So
clear.
great to meet you. It's so great to meet you for the first time. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't join the meeting for the last 3 days. That is
Yeah.
starting on Monday. I couldn't make it because my baby, we were hospitalized for 3 days.
Oh
I
no.
couldn't, yeah. I couldn't attend. I couldn't have the opportunity to attend, but
No
here I
worries.
am, and I hope I will learn a lot,
You
and
will.
a makeup class will be done, even if it is recorded.
It is recorded. It's gonna be everything's gonna be on YouTube, and we hope your family is okay. That's all that matters right now. And
Thank you very much.
you will
Okay.
definitely catch up. So please, family comes first before all this, okay?
Thank you very
So,
much. Thank you very much.
all right, cool. No
Thank
worries.
you.
No worries. Kish, let's just give a few people like 3 more minutes, and then we could start.
Yeah, let's just
Everybody else
wait till
gonna,
everyone jumps in. No problem at all. That's fine.
yeah. Oh yeah, cool. So Jennifer, welcome. Precious, Zia Luhak, Zainab, Omiyale, Trisha, Yusuf, Kish, Fatima, let me see who else. Junaidu, Camila. Yo, Camila, you bringing the fire today like you did yesterday. That was proper things, yeah? So come on, we're ready for you today. King, Muhammad, Najatu, I've already shout you out. Saidu, Samuel Adeyeye, Shamsuddin, Sa, Sir Tuo, yeah, Winnie, Vladi, Yusuf, Yivanel, and Zialu Haq. So welcome everybody. Kish, ready whenever you are.
Okay, amazing. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, so
Hope everyone.
Nigeria, Ish, just one sec. So Nigeria has been facing power outages in different regions, and so some of them come on time, and then some of them come and catch up later. But then some of them can catch up on the YouTube later on once you give us consent on that. So we can proceed.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so I guess I'll give a quick intro for those who have not joined previously. I know we ran through the first sort of session on the first day. But yeah, thank you for everyone who's been able to make it. My name's Keishon, and I'm founder of a company called Blockchain Sensei. And what we do is we do education on financial literacy and emerging tech. Today we're going to be running through the NFTs, and also getting a clear understanding of the metaverse. Within that, we're going to be explaining quite a lot of really interesting concepts, and then going through that. I'm also founder of a venture studio, so I help build and grow a wide range of different companies across emerging technologies. You know, whether it's in the financial sector, whether it's in gaming, whether it's with AI, all of these different sectors. So I'm excited today to sort of run through the NFTs, the metaverse. You know, one of the first projects I was lucky enough to work on was actually developing a smart city. So I think it's really interesting to look into sort of the future and get a clear understanding of, you know, in which ways we can benefit from this knowledge that we get, and then in which ways we can apply it to build businesses of our own and start to develop and build things for ourselves. So I think, you know, throughout this time, because we're going to be running through two sessions today. I normally do one session, so I'm going to be quite quick with it, but I think it'll be good for you guys to keep your pens and your pads with you and make as much notes as possible, because I think from this we'll get a lot of different sort of business ideas and concepts that we can explore. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, cool. So everyone can see my screen, okay? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be running through. We're going to be running through NFTs, get a clear understanding of what exactly NFTs are, have a look and take a step back to understand some of the big things that have happened throughout the space and the NFT world. And then later we're going to get into a clear understanding of, you know, how can I involve myself? What are the different opportunities out there? And then also get a clear understanding of, you know, the best ways to operate within the space as well. So I'm going to be basically running through that. Now, I'm giving away a little bit of a freebie, guys. So if you have a phone and can scan a QR code, I'll leave this up here for the next 15-20 seconds. This is a free ebook, right? And this free ebook is basically a very short version of what I'm going to run through. So look at this as your takeaway from today's lesson. So yeah, everyone, I would advise to scan this QR code, and from that you will get a PDF. So I'm going to leave it here for just a little bit longer, and then we'll get moving on. All right, we'll give it 5 seconds. All right. Okay, then cool. Moving on. Now, when we talk about NFTs, I think we have to understand something called smart contracts. Now, in our previous lesson, we ran through the blockchain and understanding blockchain technology. Now, there's something that is really incredible is what we like to call smart contracts. Essentially, it's creating a trustless environment to be able to transact. For example, if I am a boss and I have an employee who's working for me, as a boss, the employee is doing the work in order to get paid, right? And then the boss is also paying and ensuring that the work is done to a high enough quality or standard, right? So with a smart contract, it would eliminate the element of trust, because that smart contract would be able to you'd be able to send files into it. You'd be able to even send funds into it. So in this example, I'd be able to send crypto into it, and then only when that work that has been submitted is to a certain level or quality of standard will that money be given out, right? And that creates a trustless environment. So I now don't have to trust the employee's going to get the job done, and the employee doesn't have to trust that the boss is going to pay them on time, because they know that it's all done via a smart contract. So as soon as the work is done, they're gonna essentially be able to get their rewards. So this is sort of an example of what smart contracts can do. With a little bit of code ingrained into the smart contracts, you can then have automation of funds being distributed, so money being sent to different places. You can have automation of different business operations, and this is sort of the backbone of what a lot of these products that you see within the Web3 world are built off. They are built using smart contracts, which then execute and allow for these different platforms to run. So I think that this is the first base thing and a good thing to understand in terms of understanding NFTs. So that's what smart contracts are. Cool. Now let's have a look at what industries this is capable of, aiding. And now, obviously we got legal, which is a huge element. Of course, Brian, smart contracts are the future, right?
Yeah,
Um,
man.
there you go, man. And then events and ticketing, things like logistics. So for signing off of on paperwork and making sure things are done efficiently and to the right standard. um, Insurance. So the smart contracts can be in place to ensure that funds are being transferred correctly, loans are backed properly, etc., which is quite interesting. Education. So smart contracts can be used for if someone's delivering a task, for example, to get rewarded, like fifth work, right?
Yeah, man.
Fashion. So within fashion, there's lots of different capabilities of smart contracts, and we're going to look a little bit more into fashion and how they've actually utilized NFTs. Now, the
So,
same
Keith,
thing across.
before you forget, the graduation at the end of this course, we are minting for them NFTs, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
man.
go. So you
Yeah, man.
guys will have your own NFTs yourself, right? So
Mm.
that's incredible. So that will be your digital certificate of education, essentially, from being participating in this, right? So even the power grids. One thing that's a huge piece. So the power grids and the distribution of the power within different networks. And then if there's something wrong with the power grid, understanding what areas to cut off and what areas need to be cut off for things to get fixed. So things like that. Smart contracts can be used for a wide range of different things, and I thought it would be good to just give a bit of insight on how it could be used for different industries. But it's definitely at the forefront of innovation in terms of business operation. So definitely, if you have a business that you want to build, look at smart contracts and understand in what ways you can automate your business to make it completely trustless, so that you create an environment where people can do business without having to worry about the other side, the human element of it. Is this person going to complete it to the standard that I want it to be? Is that person going to take my money and run away with it? Smart contracts save you from having those issues. Cool. Now let's have a look at what is an NFT, right? So for this, we're going to break down a little bit of jargon and actually understand what the word NFT means and what the word non-fungible means. So an NFT is a non-fungible token, right? So an NFT is actually a token, but the difference is with this token, you can put things inside of it, right? So I'm going to show you some collections where they've put different types of artworks and IPs in it. You can create NFTs with videos, with music, and I'm going to share with you some platforms that also have that capability. Now, the word non-fungible means that it doesn't have the ability to be changed, and it's immutable on the blockchain, so unchangeable as it's on the blockchain, right? But now there are some things that have come up in the space, things like dynamic NFTs. Now, dynamic NFTs have the capability to be updated and utilized, and we've seen some really interesting collections come out where they've had the capability to have NFTs that throughout the time that you own it progresses and grows into different things. So interesting one was The Walking Dead, which is a sort of like a zombie sci-fi type of movie, and with that they had the capability to sort of have their characters go from a human to a zombie over time, which is quite interesting, and that's a way of using dynamic NFTs. But yeah, think about NFTs like plane tickets. You know, they all look the same, but each has a different seat and a different destination. And what we'll get into a little bit later is a little bit of the secondary market, etc. But I think one thing that people need to understand is that an NFT is a type of token, which is quite interesting as well. Next slide. Cool. So, you know, imagine let's talk about iPhone, right? So imagine if I have my iPhone here. My iPhone's worth quite a lot of money because I've got my contacts and connections in it. But compared to Elon Musk's iPhone, maybe Elon Musk's iPhone might be a little bit more valuable, right? So imagine the difference and between, you know, if you had an iPhone or if someone else has an iPhone versus if someone like Elon Musk or Steve Jobs had an iPhone, it would be intrinsically worth more than others. So that's kind of similar to how NFTs are, right? So I think that's sort of an example to give you understanding of intrinsic value in different items. But ultimately, NFTs have the value, and is the value is driven via a community, which we'll get into. Cool. So, cool. Fungible characters of fiat and cryptocurrencies, interchangeable, divisible. So yeah, there's different types of you know, NFTs as well, which we're gonna get into, and we'll sort of break that down a little bit more. Since I'm running through this, some of these slides I'm not gonna cover all of them, just because we have the metaverse that we need to get into. But I think you know, as I said, the power of the community is what really drives the NFTs. So we have different collections of NFTs like the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, or Crypto Punks, or the World of Women NFTs. But you know, fundamentally, under the underlying power behind these are the different communities and the different use cases as well. So Bored Ape Yacht Club was very successful because they utilized a lot of different celebrities with their collection. But ultimately, what it was access to almost like a private members club where they would have different events. They actually had yacht parties on a yacht, and private events where, you know, all of these different celebrities that are holders of the NFT, you might just bump into at this event. So that made it very prestigious and actually made them very big. And people actually used these NFTs as their digital identity. So on their Twitter pages, it was their profile picture, and it was something that was very raving. You know, over in the UK, we had a bunch of football players, professional football players, that got in trouble for endorsing the brand and stuff like that, and it was quite a big thing. So this is sort of the craze that has happened from NFTs. So we've had a lot of these different NFTs, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example. Some of them have actually made history with their sales, right? But this, just like I explained, this was a community that was driven and created, and the scarcity was created through these different types of events that they did, and then also the ability to utilize the actual IP. So people were actually utilizing the Bored Apes to create their own IP, so their own brands. We had Bored Wine, which was actual a wine company. They had their own burgers, which was like almost their own version of McDonald's, and everyone within the community was really raving about it, and they'll just buy a lot of these different merchandise or items that people are making, or they would be involved and get their artwork put onto these different items, and that created a huge wave and buzz of different people that were part of this community that now became business owners of their own companies inside of that community. And then they already had their existing clients because the community was very big and raving about the NFTs itself. So we had some Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs sell for a whopping $24 million. This one right here, this Bored Ape right here, sold for 769 Ethereum. So if we go on Coin Market Cap here, right? Let me just share this tab here, and we go on Ethereum. If you look at the value of Ethereum now, that was back in 2022 ish. So let's go 769. That's a whopping 19 million dollars. So someone made a lot of capital from that, just off the back of that one NFT, right? So it has a very interesting intrinsic value that has been passed through this technology, and I think it's something that is quite an interesting concept to look at, because people outside of the NFT world wouldn't have a clue or even know anything like this is going on, right? But everyone within the community have a clear understanding and are raving about it. Now, anything can be an NFT, and what I think is really big and what we've been screaming is coming is the digitalization of physical objects and items. So it's very very important to understand that with this new digital age, that there will be different intrinsic values for physical items and then also the digital representations. Now with NFTs, there's different levels of scarcity that can be created as well. So let's say you release an NFT and there's only 10 of them in the world. Right now, that is something that is a lot more rare and difficult to obtain. So we think that there will be, everyone will be able to utilize NFTs, whether it's their wine, their baseball cards, rare coins, watches, cars, you name it. This is what we call real world asset tokenization, and this is something that is really raving to this day now, where physical items and physical objects, you have a digital representation of that, and that has its own intrinsic value. We have platforms like So Rare, for example, within the football space, utilizing these different playing cards and trading cards digitally via NFTs, and people are trading them, building their own teams. So we see that there's a lot of different things that are happening in the space with NFTs. Now, this is something called the Nectar card, which is basically your club card points, where when you're going shopping in a shopping center, you basically can use these points to get a discount on your items, right? but this is not really much different from an NFT, right? And I feel like the way that the world is going, a lot of these different sorts of loyalty programs will be turned into different types of NFTs that can be utilized. So even I have a friend in the States who has a company where he's created um, like gift cards. So you can buy crypto as a gift for people, but each of these cards is basically a wallet that you can then get approved and access to the funds. So things like this, I think, is something interesting that we're gonna see coming into play. Now, um, there's a lot of different types of collections, and this is the stuff I was talking about, gift cards, right? If you look at the industry there now, uh, there's $3 billion worth of gift cards that go unused each year, right? So having it digital makes sense rather than physical. So this is just a use case here that I think would be good for you guys to maybe look into if anyone is interested. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is minting, right? Because there's a lot of different terminologies within the Web3 space, and a lot of these terminologies that I think are difficult for people that are starting in the space. Now, minting is essentially the creation of this token. So minting is the process of transferring or creating a digital representation slash tag of anything onto the blockchain. So minting is the process that you take that artwork or that digital video or that audio file and you put it onto the blockchain. The time that you put it onto the blockchain, it is now minted onto the blockchain, and that is almost like its creation digitally. So that's a little bit of a example there, and depending on whatever blockchain you're putting it on, it will have its own identity behind it, its own reference. You can track and trace it and have a clear understanding of who previously owned it and where it's been sold, and what wallets it's been transferred to and things of that nature. So it has that full track and traceability as well. Now, this is a huge part of the market. So within the market, the NFT market, there's something called royalties. Now, royalties are dependent on the creator of the platform. Typically, they put the royalties in on the NFTs themselves, and then they generate a yield from the secondary sales. So this secondary sale is basically if you have an NFT and you've sold it to someone else and they've sold it to someone else, as an owner of the NFT, right, you can then get a kickback, which will be some of part of the money that is made from the sale goes back to you and goes back to the creator. So these are some very interesting mechanisms that are built into NFTs and can be built into NFTs and have made collections and the secondary market for collections grow and build out. I thought it would be good to share with you guys exactly, what royalties are and exactly how they work. So now let's have a look at a few different types of NFTs and sort of run through what we have now and sort of the next generations that we're going to get into. So there's generative artwork. Now, generative artwork usually use AI or certain types of computer algorithms to create the actual artwork itself. So it's like think of it as like a template, right? So the template has the face, and that face has these different colors. You see, you got a blue one here, there's a red one there. It's practically the same face. And then they have the nose, the eyes, the glasses, and different accessories, all generated as separate things. So when you use the AI to generate it or use an algorithm to generate it, it will then mix and match all of these different features together and create every single possible combination, and based on these different combinations and these different items, they might have different types of rarity, which will then increase or decrease the value of that NFT depending on the community and the buzz that's built around that project. So that's a little bit about the generative artwork. Now, if we look at PFPs, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which we saw earlier, these are sort of profile picture projects, right? PFP projects, and I think most of them are for communities which are emphasizing or using it as a form of their identity. Now, the Bored Ape Yacht Club was more successful than general PFP collections because they created utility behind the project. The most important thing is to create a utility behind it to ensure that you have a sustainable community and you can grow. Now, open editions, the difference between a PFP here and an open edition is that it is time sensitive. So let's say that there's a collection that is open for a 24-hour period, then it means that as much people as possible can get this NFT. But once that 24-hour period is done, no one else is able to get it. Now, if this is done correctly, you can create extreme scarcity and actually generate a lot from that. So I think that's very interesting. Next one is fractional NFTs. So now some of these crypto punks here, had extremely large amounts of value. Let's say this one is $1 million, right? Not everyone has $1 million, and not everyone is able to buy that. So there's fractional ownership, which basically means that $1 million is now split into these 100 pieces, for example, here, and now it's split into these different pieces. People are able to buy a piece of it for $100 each, right? Does that make sense? So it gives a little bit more access for people to have the ownership of that NFT. Now, when the NFT increases in value over time, they have a little share of that value that it increases in. And with fractional ownership, um, I think it's a good sort of uh, use case for people that have these large value NFTs and don't really want to sell them completely and want to give away part ownership and still generate something from that. So these are some of the different types of NFTs. And like I did explain, there's dynamic NFTs and other features, but these are the main sort of features with NFTs there. Now let's have a look at music, sports, and domain names. So with music, I don't know, anyone here know Nas? Brian, I know you know Nas, right?
Yo, Dirty Nostradamus, representing.
Right. So Nazir actually dropped one of his songs using a platform called what was it called again? It was called royalties. Yeah, so basically a portion of a portion, it was called Royal, a portion of his music, his actual royalties that he generates, the money that he makes from the song itself, was given to the user who actually bought this NFT. So this basically is changing the way that business can be done in the music industry. As you know, with the music industry, the labels and the bigger players sit on everything, and you don't own anything really. So this is giving power back to the artists and the creators, and also giving power back to the users. And this is what Web3 is about. It's about giving the power back to the user base and giving the power back to the creators as well. So, without needing any of these big authorities, your community can build you up and take you to where you need to be, and also be a part of your journey and own a share in proceeds that are generated. So this is an interesting revolutionary way of actually sharing and selling your own IP. And who better to sell to than your own community, right? Now we have this with sports. So NBA Top Shot is a very big platform, and what they actually did was they gave fans the ability to own the rights to highlights of specific moments in sport. So if you got LeBron James doing a slam dunk right here, as a fan, you can actually own the rights to that, meaning that the actual video itself, the content itself, the rights, you own it. So if it gets aired on a television, or if it gets used for publishing of a book or whatever that may be, if it's used in a Netflix documentary, you actually have ownership rights of that, which then means that you can get paid royalties from that. But as a fan, I think it's just it was created for fans to really own that moment, and I think that was an interesting use case. Another use case with NFTs that maybe not a lot of people actually know is that you can actually create your own domain names. So there's a website called Unstoppable Domains. Unstoppable Domains, you can actually create your own um, crypto domain name. And now some of these domain names, well, most of them act as like a wallet as well. So with these domain names, you can actually transact into it. And I think it gives a bit more capability for people to be able to find you, and also for people to be able to send funds to you. So yeah, that's another really interesting element with Web3, is that there's actual like decentralized, like not linked to any big entities or authorities, and just put on the blockchain, like just your domain name, which is really cool. Okay, now another type of NFT is land sales. So we are going to cover a little bit more about what Snoop Dogg did with Sandbox. But we've had companies like Sotheby's, etc., doing land sales. Now, this is where people are selling parcels of land. These plots of land are digital plots of land, like physical, but people are owning the digital plots of land, building their own things on it, and having different foot traffic and inviting different people down. And maybe they are selling their NFTs in there, or they are, creating a environment where people can pay to be in that environment. For example, if you made a digital club, right? People are going to pay to be in your digital club because that's where everyone's at, and you're going to meet some cool people there, for example. So this is quite interesting when we're going to be talking about the metaverse and these different use cases. Is being able to build a business in the digital world, aside from the physical, which is another element which I think is really cool. And I think two good platforms for that are the Sandbox and also Decentraland.
Sorry, Kish. I'm gonna mute everybody. Then Kish, you can mute yourself, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right, cool, bless. All right, Kish, unmute yourself then.
Boom. Thank you. I'm looking at the comment straight. Gems. Appreciate you, Dante. All right. Cool. So now we're gonna also look at ticketing. So with NFTs, we're looking at ticketing. So whether it's backstage passes, VIP passes, etc. We think that NFTs are incredible for ticketing because it has a unique ability for you to be able to target your users a little bit better, right? With Web3, you can make a ticket that you give to someone that is your NFT. It could be almost like a wallet, right? So from using that wallet address that someone's bought that NFT on, you can then airdrop more gifts and more tokens. So if you're running an event and you have a new song that's dropping from an artist that's performing, for example, that new song can automatically get airdropped into that person's wallet. Or if someone has a VIP ticket, they can get automatically airdropped an additional NFT, which gives them capability to get free drinks or something like that, right? So this is an example of how you can use NFTs for ticketing, and it's quite interesting. Now, of course, collectibles is a huge thing. There's a platform called VV. VV have done an incredible job using some of the biggest brands, you know, the Marvels, the Disneys, the Batmans, the you name it, right? Um, and they've been able to create these NFTs that are digital collectibles. And I think the interesting part of how they've done it is that they've created these 3D models. So
Hey,
we've got another
guys,
one.
please, mute your mics, please. If you're not speaking, just mute your mics. Kish, I'm gonna mute everybody again then.
Okay, no problem.
And guys, please. All right, Kish, there you go.
Okay, amazing. Okay, cool. Now, yeah, so the VV as a platform, they've created 3D renditions of their different characters, and just purely as a collectible, they've created different rarities of them, and it's been a platform that people can use to collect their favorite characters um, as 3D models, and then you can put it in your own space, like your own 3D space where you can build and create your own and design your own room, basically like a vault, which you can invite people to. And I think that's a interesting way of creating scarcity with existing IP, like your Superman, like your Iron Man, or things of that nature. So that's another platform I'd recommend to check out. VV, it's a really cool platform. It's VEVE. Now, my favorite thing is utility, right? Because I feel like collectibles is fun and it's cool, but I think the most important thing is having utility behind the NFT. What does utility actually mean, right? Utility basically means that it has something that you could do with it. It has something that you can use as a value that you can utilize in the real world, right? Because there's utility in the digital world, which is cool, but I think some of the best utilities is, let's say I go and I buy myself an NFT of one of these artifacts, sneakers, or I buy one of these NFTs from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is a collaboration with Adidas. Now I can get a physical pair of the NFT that I have delivered to my house, to my door, right? um and I think that these different utilities are quite interesting, you know. Or for example, with this shoe now, depending on what type of NFT I have, they might have a black one, a green one, a yellow one. If I got the black one, let's say I can scan that now, and my shoes now turn black instead of being white how they are now, because I have that NFT, and that's the rarer one. It makes it more rare, makes you more unique, you know. These sorts of intrinsic values I think are more valuable, because you know, if you look at V Friends, so there's a collection called V Friends, which is actually created by Gary V, and I think one of the incredible things that he did behind that one was giving people his time, right? So you have this guy who's a multimillionaire and making hundreds of millions a year, right? And he's now giving his time to be able to speak and connect with people and give them advice, right? But you know, for someone normally that will cost maybe 50K or 100K an hour, right? But because you got this NFT which costed you maybe 1K or 2K, let's say, and I know the value skyrocketed that they were going for like 15, 20K each. But you know, let's say you got it early. Thank God you bought it early. You paid 1K for that. But now you have access to someone like Gary V. So it allows you to cut through the noise and get directly to them. And I think that's an interesting use case as well with NFTs. And we already covered RWA, so I'm going to skip that one. But that's, tokenizing properties, fractionalizing properties, watches, trainers, comic books, wine, physical items, real world assets that are tokenized, which is actually a really big trend that we're seeing coming into the space right now.
Yeah, Kish, but one thing before you move on, yeah?
Yeah.
Like there's all those price fluctuations as well. So at times it could really go up, but then it could also really go down. Like the painting that was
Yeah.
sold for 4 million, and now it's like 2,000 pounds or something like that. It really drops as well.
1000%. Yeah. So with NFTs now, this is the cusp of the actual industry with NFTs currently. Now, money typically flows into NFTs last, right? So this is why we teach NFTs last. I don't feel like NFT investment is the first thing you should do unless you are a collector and want to collect the artwork or want to become a part of a community where you get more value, right? Because the NFT market, in terms of the value of it, it only really picks up after everything else has done its thing. So, Bitcoin, the way it normally works is Bitcoin normally does its run, and then we have what we call alternative coins, which is anything but Bitcoin, basically. So the Ethereums and all of the younger coins, the Solanas and etc. Then capital flows into NFTs after that, normally. So NFTs is like the space has been and can become very stagnant, and then all of a sudden, once liquidity is and everyone's made their money, then they go to NFTs after, right? And that's sort of how it is. But I think that there still has been incredible launches of projects, but it's only through actually creating and having value that you're giving to a community. And I think the value that you bring and that you give to a community will outlast anything, will outlast all of these different market cycles. So I think that that should be the focus. It
Kish,
shouldn't be. Yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
man. You know I'm going through the chats and I don't want to leave anybody behind. It have a few questions for you, Kish. So do you want to take them now or do you want to take them later?
Very short on time here because we've got the two sessions that
Okay.
we're running through. Let me
Okay,
just
cool.
quickly
Don't forget,
go.
we do have to take this break right now for the our Muslim
Oh,
fella.
for the prayer break. Okay,
Yes,
cool.
I
Yeah,
apologize. I missed it by a few minutes. If you don't
yeah.
mind pausing.
But the rest of us stay on, right?
I mean just a discussion portion or something along those lines,
Okay,
so they're not
cool.
left behind.
Yeah, Kish. So we have some Muslim brothers and sisters with us who requested a prayer break. Yeah, so
Okay.
you could allow them to go for their prayer break. So just hold your slides. Don't move on with the slides. Give them about 10 minutes to come back. So in the interim, you could take some of the questions, and then when they come back, you proceed with the slides. If you're cool with
Okay.
it.
No worries. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. So anybody who has a question, please just unmute yourself and ask the question. So the first one here, Fatima, you're asking about the RWA on NFT thing. You want to unmute your mic and ask that yourself? I'm assuming Fatima has left for prayers as well because of Camilla. Anybody? If you're ready, just ask. Yeah. Otherwise, okay,
Hello,
Fatima.
it's
Yeah.
Fatima speaking.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
So
Fatima,
my
loud and clear.
question is about the real world asset NFT. Do I just get the NFT or do I get the item and the NFT physically, like sent to me or what? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's dependent on the platform. So, in regards to that question, it really depends on the platform and what they're doing. For example, I have an NFT platform, which does RWA, right? So, what we're doing is we're tokenizing property. So, you're not going to get physically the property, but you're going to get the money that is generated and the yield from that property from investing in one of our NFTs. So that's fractionalized ownership. So that's one of the capabilities. But with some NFTs, when you buy the NFT, you do get physical items and things sent to your door. V Friends is a great example. If you bought a V Friends, you'd get collectible cards that were sent to your door and some other collectibles. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. And then we have Jason here. Jason says he got 3 unstoppable domains NFTs, but he still doesn't fully understand how to use them. Hopefully, after this, he'll be better equipped to use them. Now, we have 2 questions on the mic. Abdul Jabbar and Andy. Whoever's ready, unmute your mic and go. We are keeping time today.
Okay, thank you very much. it's Andy on the line. I won't want to
Yeah.
miss much time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work on the project. Two questions quickly. Trying to work on the project. I saw smart contracts and identity in your previous slide. So I want to know how I can structure which platform will be best to. I don't know if BSV will be cool because I want to do something on identity. I don't just know the logic behind it. If you can just help with how I can incorporate smart contracts to actually build something around identities for we here in Nigeria. That's one. Number two, are NFTs dead? Why I'm asking this is that I feel the last bull run, the catalyst for the bull run majorly were NFTs, GameFi and the rest. Even I thought it would be RWAs this time around, only for me to realize that they're actually NFTs that are tokenized and properties tokenized as NFTs. So are NFTs dead? Are NFTs dead? What's your thoughts on that? Because I feel yeah, 4 5 years ago they were the talk of the town. Now I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Kish, take that one, please, and then we'll allow the next person to ask so that we don't merge too many questions together, unless you want to hear all the questions and answer them in one go.
No, I'm not a computer. I'm a human.
Smart contract, Kish.
Smart contract, quiche.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, to answer your question regarding are NFTs dead, it's a technology. So as long as the technology is working, I don't think the technology will die. I think that yes, it has its moments of popularity, but like I said, I think that if people are understanding how to utilize the technology and it works for their business model and it's a sustainable business model, then it will be fine. But unfortunately, what we have seen is majority of the business models in the NFT world are not sustainable business models, and people are not paying attention to the right things. So that's sort of my answer to sort of what I think about the market and where it's at right now. I think that there's a need for people to build the right things using the technology, and there's not been great use of the technology. Also, regarding the identity protocol and things that you want to build out, I would advise looking at sort of the new standard of not just the EU as a whole, but the track and traceability of supply chain. I think that's the big piece as well. There's a huge identity and identification play to be done with that. In regards to with that track and traceability of the supply chain, there's a need of not only just tracking and tracing the product, which can be done through the blockchain, but also the ability to create and to build the the authentication of the identity of these individuals, the packaging, the weight of that. That in itself is an identity sort of platform where files can be sent into it and all sorts of stuff like that. And I think that that's a platform that is definitely required and needed for the global supply chain. But also separate to that, I think identity as a whole, so linking identities to wallets, having an understanding of what age groups are on what games, for example, having an understanding of what level or what age groups of people are on certain types of platforms is very, very important, especially in this digital age. And what you're looking at fixing is a huge issue compared to other things that I'll explain a little bit later as well. So yeah.
All right, Kish. Okay, Abdul Jabbar, Ahmed.
Can I say something? Oh no, I
Oh,
apologize.
Nino. Okay, cool, Nino.
So
Okay.
I used to work for the U.S. Navy in Pearl Harbor, Hickam, and they had this token where they would have RFID on all of their tools, all their equipment, and the IDs of the people. And what ended up happening was they scrapped the entire program because privacy concerns. And that is something else to consider when you're dealing with identity, because even after they built out this entire system, they knew where everyone was at all times. They knew what tools they carried with them. They knew what these people were doing, where they were going. And there was a lot of information that could be, a lot of metadata that could be captured. And it ended up being illegal. So they They scrapped this whole program after spending millions of dollars on it. And I do want to say that if you are going to be building something that does deal with identity, be careful with exactly what you are capturing and how that information is being shared, just because there are obviously privacy concerns depending on what country you're coming from.
Thanks, Nino. So, Abdul Jabbar, I've unmuted you. Do you want to speak quickly? And then we have Zikrula. Jason was also waiting in line.
This is a holy grail to me. Metaverse, NFTs, and so my idea, my question is, as an architect, how do I position myself in this realm, in this ecosystem, using blockchain, the technology, and Web3 to do a lot like property development, property management, design considerations, urban planning, data that could be used to develop centers, something like that, and then give the general public this how would I call it, this togetherness, like having a plot of land in Nigeria can be represented in blockchain ledger, so that anybody in the world knows who owns that particular land and when it is sold and to whom, right? Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. That's really excellent. Keish, you want to take that before we go to the next?
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem, especially across Africa, in terms of who owns the land deed, etc. Now, in order for that to work, it would have to have some legal elements behind it as well. So the land deed in itself would be part of it, of course, but you would need to have a lawyer or someone legal from a legal side, like a solicitor, that is able to sign off on that as well. In order for it to be actually like certified. But I think from my understanding, it's going to be a huge issue to solve, and I think that definitely the technology has the capabilities, and I think in regards to that use case, I think it's a very big use case that could be coming into play. In regards to other elements of using blockchain technology for what you want to do, it doesn't sound like you need blockchain technology for everything. I think it's more digitalization. So there's for example, if you could get hold of like a 3D camera, like a 360 camera, and you could work with some of the biggest property firms or property companies, then you can create these 3D scans of these different rooms, and then upload that on their website so people can digitally do a virtual tour. That's a huge business model that could be implemented. Let's say the camera costs you, $100 or $60 or so, right? And you're selling your services for similar. Once you do that 2 or 3 times, then the camera's paid for and everything else is money on top. So that's an interesting sort of use case, I would say. But yeah, I hope that
Keish,
helps.
for real estate, I literally know somebody who's doing it in London.
Yeah.
I met him at one of those Crypto Monday
Oh, it's big money.
Londons, and I'm gonna hook you up. What's your name? Sorry.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, just message me on my WhatsApp and then I'll hook you up if you want to persuade further, okay? Because I know somebody who's already doing it. There's no point of reinventing the wheel. Hey, Jason, your hand has been up for long. Then
Yes.
Zula, and then at 8:05, Kish is continuing the slides. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Thank you.
Wait, could we
I just wanted
Jason start and then Zikrula, please? Quick thing.
Right.
Okay, so I
Please.
wanted a little clarification on, I'm Jason speaking.
Yeah.
Clarification on IP protection with NFTs. For instance, anything from the real world, digital art, if you're creating a brand or something, can you explain how NFTs can be used to copyright this? And is it used in conjunction with WIPO, or is it something separate? So how would it be enforced in the real
Kish, could I
world?
take that one?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Jason, tomorrow Sarah is going to be here. So Sarah is going to be applying the legal aspects of what Kish is doing today. Okay. So Kish is right in the mix. Okay. But he's not a lawyer. So the lawyer tomorrow is going to come and do it because Kish can't misrepresent and give wrong advice. Okay. So let's leave
Correct.
that for tomorrow. Guys, those of you who want to understand the legal ramifications and repercussions of NFTs in the legal world, leave it for tomorrow. Sarah Adami Johnson is going to be here tomorrow to sort you out. Okay, Jason? Zikrula, next. Zikrula. Okay.
Yeah.
Zikrula, you snooze, you lose,
My name
man.
is Zikrola. Please, I just want to know what is the equivalent of NFT to Ethereum or Bitcoin as of today. And the second question is this: can we get a prototype of how this NFT works? Those are my questions.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so NFTs are a technology. So an NFT can be on different blockchains. So what you've explained is Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are different blockchains. So the NFT has a capability to be built on these different blockchains. So you can find NFTs on Solana, you can find NFTs on Ethereum, and with Bitcoin, with XRP, for example. So there's different NFTs built on these blockchains. Is the explanation on that?
All right. Thanks, Kish. Naja Atu.
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Please, I want to know what benefit do the collectors of NFT gain from NFT?
Yeah, so the collectors, it depends on what the collection is, and it depends on, who created the project. But generally, they are part of a community. That community either gives them access to more people that they can work with, either gives them more access to more like-minded people like them. Separate to that, the NFT might have some utility. So the use cases of the NFT would be beneficial for someone who owns it. So that could be, if you buy this NFT and you own it, once a year or once every week or so, you can have access to a mentor. Or if you buy this NFT and you own it, you will have the capability to have VIP tickets at whatever show your favorite artist does or something like that. So that's utility. So that's one reason why people will buy NFTs. And then the third reason I'll give why people would buy NFTs is for the secondary market. So someone might buy NFT and then want to sell it in the secondary market at a later stage, when they know, okay, the market's going to be very buzzing in their opinion. I think that I can sell my NFT for, 3 times or 2 times whatever I paid and make my money that way. So there's people that are trading NFTs. There's people that are collecting them as like artwork or a part of their identity. People are collecting NFTs and they show people their wallet and say, these are the NFTs I have. This is who I am. So these are different elements and ways that people are using NFTs.
All right, cool. Thanks, Kish.
Okay,
Right
okay,
before you
thank
go,
you.
right
problem.
before Kish, you proceed. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell guys something really quick. So let me wear my lawyer hat now. When it comes to copyright, once you create something, you are the creator of that piece of work. It's automatically protected under the laws of copyright. Okay. So with NFTs, as long as you have the timestamp and the rarity to prove that this is your project and it's sufficiently like it's original to an extent based on your input or whatever it is. I'm just trying to avoid terminology. But once the work is out and it's yours based on your input, to a sufficient degree, the artwork is protected. When it comes to things like patents and all that, that's a bit different. But Sarah will discuss that tomorrow. So right now, the train is moving. Kish, back to you.
Yeah, there you go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your mic was on mute.
I think you were trying to unmute me, but you muted me when I
Oh,
unmuted.
sorry, bro.
It's all right, no problem. Okay, so another website, I think, I don't know if it'll work back home now, but Protect Your Work is very similar to what Brian has been explaining, where you want to get your IP protected for cheap. If you can document the process, put it through a company like Protect Your Work, and then they will be able to basically have those timestamps on record. And if there's any legal attack or anything that needs to be done, represent. So that's quite interesting platform. But cool. Now let's have a look at some of the stuff that you can do within the NFT world, right? Like, what can you do to become a part of this NFT thing, right? Um, you can either create your NFT collections and NFTs and become a creator, where you are either uploading artwork, audio, video, or just creating, these collections to build out and to give to a community. You can be a collector. You can buy and collect and trade different artworks, or you can be a trader, which is what was explaining, where people are just buying literally just to sell it to a next person to make a gain on that. Or you could be an NFT helper. So this is someone who's part of the community, who's heavy into the Discord, heavy into the community, and part of someone who helps manage and maintain a community. If someone has questions, you're the one who's answering. If someone is asking how to do something, you're there to help them. So this is actually a job role that is increasing. And it's, typically these collections are either on Discord or on Telegram. So you're a Discord manager or a Telegram manager, which is quite interesting. And then the other element is investors. So investors are people or groups who invest in either platforms, creators, or artworks, or tokens associated with the platforms. So you could be an investor who wants to be a part of it and invest in a collection or a specific platform early stage before everyone else, right? So these are some examples. Now let's have a look at some things to look for in an NFT. So some of the things are, like I explained, the utility, right? The artwork, the level of quality sometimes doesn't really matter that much, but I think the appeal is important. And then the community, right? Also, what I need to explain is very important for everyone. With everything that I've said today, to do your own research, do your own analysis, understand things for yourself, and have a deeper understanding as well. So this is one of the things that kind of help. Then there's also supply, demand, the price that is coming out with, and also understanding what utility they have or what use case it has, right? So this is some elements. Now I'm gonna get into okay, here you go. Here's some red flags to avoid. So you can use rarity.tools to check out people's social platforms to understand if they're actually real, if they actually have that level of activity. So rarity.tools is a platform. It's like an aggregator, and what an aggregator is a third party platform which you can use to get additional analytics and data on NFTs and NFT collections. Now, you can look at their Discord and understand what members they have and understand what their community is saying. And then you can also check and see if they are verified. And then also another good thing which I like to do is read the white paper of a project and actually understand the company and what they actually envision to do in the long run, which is really great. So you're a bit more of a step ahead. Cool. So conduct your own research. So nftcalendar.io is a great website if you want to look into more NFTs, and then nonfungible.com. So these are some websites there. So now I'm gonna get into sort of the next session, which is more about the metaverse. So just because I'm conscious of time here, we're gonna get into it. So now we know about NFTs. I'm gonna explain to you guys what we call the metaverse, right? And I think it's quite interesting because it creates a whole new social dynamic, and it has a lot of capabilities for, you know, people to generate money, to generate their own businesses, build and create their own communities, completely digitally, without having to be physically in any in that environment. So let's have a look at the magical metaverse. I wanted to share with you guys a quick snippet of the Ready Player One movie, because I think that this is a great representation of the metaverse itself. And I think from understanding and seeing this, it's a little bit of fun as well, but you get to see what people believe the actual metaverse will be. So I'm just going to share this here real quick. Can everyone see this? Yeah.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here, sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis. A whole virtual universe. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything. The Oasis was the brainchild of James Halliday.
Hello. If you're watching this, I'm dead. I created a hidden object, an Easter egg. The first person to find the egg will inherit $500 billion and total control of the Oasis itself.
Who is this Parzival, and how the hell is he winning?
Find him.
This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
The Oasis.
The world's most important economic resource.
It's nothing less than a war for control of the future.
Welcome to the rebellion, Wade.
Like many of you, I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the Oasis.
Yo, Keish, man. Big things are going there, bro. Yo,
I'm muted, but I'm saying, brother. That's the metaverse. That's what people think the metaverse will be, right? But you know, by 2025, which is around the corner, only 25% of the world will have access to what we call 5G internet, right? So we're very far away from having the reality of things. But just so people have a clear understanding and can see, you know, how people envision the metaverse. And for those who haven't seen this, definitely watch Ready Player One because it's quite interesting. Cool. So Facebook rebranded their name to. What did Facebook rebrand their name to, guys? Let's see. I'm looking at the chat.
Meta.
Meta. There you go.
Meta.
Yeah, we can
Bro, my bro, don't snooze there, man.
boom. Right?
Quickest gun.
Quickest guy. Meta. Everyone's got it. Everyone knows. Okay. So why did they name themselves Meta? I wonder why. Might have something to do with the
Yo, hold
metaverse,
up,
right?
Kish. Guys, listen. I
Because
know
of
we
the
had an
metaverse.
exciting. Let's mute. If you want to talk, mute quick because right now we're getting feedback. Please, okay? Everybody mute when you're ready. Just let's be, diplomatic and talk in sequence. Okay? All right, Kish, back to you. Did I not mute everybody? All right, Kish.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
All right, perfect. Cool. Everyone got it right. Meta, right? Now this has something to do with the metaverse. Facebook recently released the glasses, AR glasses that they've got going on, some stuff that they're doing, right? Very interesting stuff. Now, because we only have about 10 minutes left, right? So I'm gonna just skip through majority of this and I'm gonna share with you another video which I think is very interesting, and it shows the use case of the metaverse for a factory, right? This is in collaboration with BMW.
Kish,
And
1 second, bro.
yes.
If you are not pressed for time, we could always bite into the guest lab time, okay? So it's fine. Don't rush and then lose context of your slides. But if you are pressed for time, then it's fine. You can fast forward, but it's fine. You cannot press for time.
Okay. Yeah, I have another call around 1/2 past, but I can run over a little bit, no problem.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. All right,
cool. So cool. Let's have a look and let's have a quick peer into why we think the metaverse will be bigger than us, right? And I think you have to look at gaming, because I think the biggest entry level to the metaverse is gaming, but also things like Zoom, things like Snapchat, things like the things that we're using now. Because in this Zoom, I don't know if you guys can, but I can go ahead and I could put a virtual background in here, which just changes my complete environment if I know how to use this application. Where can I put the virtual background? I don't think it's letting me. But basically, within the Zoom, I can have my own backgrounds. I got the blur background right now. I see my hands blurry, and also some other things, right? In the digital environment, this is technically the metaverse, right? So one thing that I want to make clear is that the metaverse is all over us and it's across the internet, and it's us digitally in these environments where we're able to interact with each other, right? So I think that is definitely a big element. Now, I wanted to look at sort of the gaming industry as a whole, because each of these games is like a metaverse, right? It's a digital 3D environment where people can interact with each other, right? And these games have incredible revenues that they're doing, right? Some of them in the millions and billions, and most of them are making millions per hour, which is insane, right? Grand Theft Auto 5 makes 15K every 10 minutes, right? This translates approximately 25 million every 10 days and $1 billion per year, right? For a game that's how many years old now? So, it's quite interesting to understand the amount of money and capital that's flowing through the gaming industry, and it's bigger than it's the biggest industry, essentially bigger than the entertainment industry, music industry combined. Basically, it's the gaming industry. It's huge, and I think this is where we are seeing early and the biggest adoption of user base into Web3 is gaming. So this is why I wanted to share this. So this is some we're talking about digital land and land before. Now let's have a look at some of the digital land sales and some of the biggest that have happened. So if we're looking at the Sandbox, for example, they've done $4.2 million with basically one of the highest digital land sales. Decentraland, $2.4 million for a digital plot of land, right? Axie Infinity, $2.3 million. And Decentraland, they've done a ton of it. They're holding the top 10 position on about 6 different land sales, around about $1 million dollars in land sales, right, per plot. So it's quite incredible to understand the amount of capital that has been flowing through these digital land sales. Cool. So what could it mean for you? Just like I was saying with the Zooms, it's changing the way that people are working. I got a lot of buddies that are in tech, working every day in tech, and they're meeting their friends in virtual reality with the headsets to have meetings. And in virtual reality, they have a big boardroom and a whiteboard where they're making notes and they're sharing different concepts and ideas. I think this is very interesting to think about the future of communication and the way that people are going to be interacting together. Another thing is that you can have a avatar, so a digital version of yourself in these different environments, which I think is very interesting. So Zoom, Google Meets, Teams, Spaces, your Snapchats, all these different things are like a metaverse. Now I want to share with you one more video, and I'm gonna go into the stuff with NVIDIA and show you more applications on the industrial side. But I wanted to show you augmented reality because, virtual reality with these big, bulky headsets, I don't think that is how people are going to experience the metaverse. I think augmented reality, which is basically on top of the real world, let's say on your phone or with your devices, and now with these augmented reality glasses, you can actually see sort of what the next iteration and how people will be interacting with the world today. So I want to share with you this video. It's done in collaboration with Snapchat and Nike with a pair of glasses called spectacles. And these, it's quite interesting to see, the use case of these augmented reality glasses and how fun and how cool it can make, someone going on a run, basically. So I'm going to share this here.
Ish, you don't have sound?
Okay, no, it's okay, no worries. Not sure why that didn't play properly, but that's fine, no problem. But yeah, you guys could see, if someone's on this running track, running around racing, they have different things that sort of incentivize them to keep going. Nice one, keep going, stuff like that. I think that was quite a cool sort of use case of augmented reality, and it's interesting to think about your physical world and how things can be altered and changed and enhanced to incentivize people to interact deeper and give people a better understanding of things. So cool. Let me get into the I'm going to get into the stuff with NVIDIA in a second here. But yeah, I wanted to share with you guys here some really notable mentions and things that have happened throughout sort of the metaverse with fashion. So we have a brand like Dolce & Gabbana, we've had Louis Vuitton, we've had a lot of really large brands come into this digital space, creating their own metaverses where people can actually sell their own digital products, which then translate into physical items that people can get to their door. And it's quite interesting to see that brands like this are making their own metaverses. You know, in 2022, we saw a lot of companies patenting, their own NFTs. We had Ford, we had Coca-Cola, we had obviously Louis Vuitton. A lot of these really big brands, Facebook, of course, was one of them, that came in and actually have patented their own NFTs and their own metaverses. So, it's definitely coming. We're going to see a lot more of them coming, and it's quite exciting to see. So I want to share with you this video. Now, let me know if the audio is working. Is that working? Brian, just quickly checking. Is the sound okay or not?
Wait. No.
Is there audio on that?
No, bro.
Nope.
Okay.
The video
Okay,
is cracky and no sound.
All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rejoin. I'm gonna rejoin now. Okay.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Drop off and then come back.
Cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I see a few questions.
While it's quiet for the meantime, I just want to ask, because everybody's been so quiet over the last couple of days. What actually motivated some of the people here to join the Web3 space?
Yo, bro, listen. Can we hold that for right after this? Because Kish is now back in action, but that's an excellent question. Can you please ask it as soon as the guest lab starts? That's really good. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna share my screen again, and let's hope this plays fine without any issues. Because we did have it running and working perfectly fine. Could I get co-host, please, Brian?
1 second, bro. Just 1 second.
Thank you.
Multitasking ain't my thing, man. All right, there you go, bro. There you go.
You're the front end and the back end, huh?
You know what I mean? Producer, DJ, presenter, now, man, come work.
Okay, can you hear this, guys?
Of automobile production. We are inside the
play
digital
Nike
twin
one
of
as well?
BMW's.
You can hear this, yeah?
Yeah. So you don't want to play the Nike one and then this one?
I think with just this one for now, because I think the Nike one it's only a minute video.
All right, cool. Bless. Let's play this.
I can share the link if you guys want to check it out. I'll share it here.
Cool. No,
I'll put it in the chat for everyone if they want to check it out. Give me a second, just throw it in the chat. Boom. So there's the Nike video if you want to check that out. I'm going to play this one because it's very interesting. The use case of a metaverse to create a factory where people can actually work in the factory, but they can change the layout of it. And it's actually a replica of their original physical site. So it gives them the capability to create new workflows for their employees and make more efficient work to be done. So I want to share this with you guys.
From the assembly system, powered by Omniverse. For the first time, we are able to have our entire factory in simulation. The capability to operate in a perfect simulation revolutionizes BMW's planning processes. Here we see two planning experts located in different parts of the world, testing a new line design in Omniverse. We would like to be able to do this at scale in simulation.
That's exactly why NVIDIA has Digital Human for simulation.
digital humans are trained with data from real associates. You could then use digital humans in simulation to test new workflows for worker ergonomics and efficiency. Now your factories employ 57,000 people that share workspace with many robots designed to make their jobs easier. Domain randomization can generate an infinite permutation of photorealistic objects, textures, orientations, and lighting conditions. It is ideal for generating ground truth, whether for detection, segmentation, or depth perception.
NVIDIA Omniverse and NVIDIA AI give us the chance to simulate all 31 factories in our production network. These new innovations will reduce the planning times, improve flexibility and precision, and at the end, produce 30% more efficient planning processes.
So there you go. The most efficient way of improving on your warehouse and your physical workforce.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge element. Skill sharing. If we're looking at the ability to skill share using the metaverse or using augmented reality, for example, imagine if someone's worked in an industry for 20 years and they have 20 years experience doing something physical. Let's say they're fixing something or something like that. We have now got the capability to have a 3D scan of that individual as they're doing their work. 20 years experience, and now someone who's new can come and put their hands in exactly the same place. And I think that's a very interesting use case of the metaverse there. But yeah, I wanna leave that as closing remarks, and I think also I wanted to share not just the concerns for the metaverse, but the rules of the metaverse. And I'll leave this as a closing remark. So we kind of formulated these sort of rules of the metaverse, and just to give people a level of understanding, right? Now, rule number one, there is only one metaverse, right? Rule number two is that the metaverse is for everyone. And rule number three is that nobody controls the metaverse. Rule number four is that the metaverse is open. Rule number five is that the metaverse is hardware independent. And now number six is the metaverse is a network. And rule number seven is the metaverse is the internet. So it's quite interesting to understand things from that perspective and understand that everything is the metaverse around us digitally and we're interacting with it already. So I'll leave that as a closing remark. And yeah, just a huge thanks to everyone. Huge thanks to Brian and Nina and the team. And yeah, it's been Keish. And yeah, I hope all is well. And I hope that's been helpful. And yeah, that's me.
Yo, Kish, big up yourself. Guys, listen, just throw some fire emojis for Kish. Before you say anything, before you ask questions, yo, the man has brought the fire, man. Light a fire. Drop a fire emoji, guys. Come now, man. Let me drop in a
Boom.
Boom, boom, sound it. Yo, Kish, man, listen. Fantastic. Now, guys, for what Kish has done, tomorrow we're going to try extend it further in terms of the legal and regulatory applications. Then next week, Kish is coming back in with fire upon the yard. Next week, he's now bringing in the business development aspect, business creation, skills, and all them things. It's all in your timetable. So please, Kish, you can leave at your own leisure. Bless
Thank
you,
guys.
Thank you very much.
Care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So, hey, Kish, before he's gone. Quick man. Hey, Nino and Evan, let me put the spotlight on you guys. 1 second.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah, bless Nino. Okay, I'm pinning
Can
you.
everyone hear me?
Evan, let me pin you as well. All right, so it's time for the guest lab. Nino, do you want to take them through the assessment first of all, so that they understand the rewards and all that?
Yeah, so what's going to happen with the final assessment is we are going to post a exam on Fifth Work, which many of you are already familiar with. Some of you are not. Go ahead and log into Fifth Work. There's no prompts that'll walk you through how to create a wallet, and just how to create an account. It's relatively simple. You can also search YouTube. There's some videos out there for how to actually link CentB to your Fifth Work account. It's not difficult. Once you do that, you are going to automatically be enrolled based on your email address that you register your account. So if the email address that is the same for this cohort as this boot camp that you're doing right now, if that is the same for your, try and keep that the same for your Fifth Work account as well. If it's not, that's okay. Just let us know because you won't get an invite. You won't be able to see the final. So it will automatically pop up on your dashboard when you go to fifthwork.com. It'll say no long Ting course. You'll open it up. It'll have the questions right there. As you finish the course, you go through the questions. The content will be based on the education you've been provided. So the questions will be directly pulled from these courses that you're seeing now, from the reading material that Brian has been giving you. It will be pulled automatically, and these questions will be generated for you. You'll be given a random amount of questions from a pool of questions, so not everyone's questions are going to be the same. You have as long as you want to answer them. You know, you're not going to be held to like an hour. It's going to be about 4 days. You're going to have from the Friday that we finish the boot camp to the next Monday when we announce the winner of the Ideathon. I'm sorry. You're going to have that whole time to complete that exam, but don't miss it. You will not get a certificate of completion because you will not be there for the actual drafting of the certificates, the NFTs, to prove that you have earned your certificate. You know, this is a certificate of achievement that comes along with this. This is going to have our names, our branding on it, saying that yes, these people know what Web3 is, these people know what blockchain is. That has a little bit of weight. I apologize for the previous people from the NITA cohort. We will get you certificates for that as well. Don't worry. But it's just fifthwork.com, 5thwork.com. But it's not difficult. We'll go through it again. Evan and I will be instructing you guys for a couple more days. We'll show you the website. Just know that when your performance on the quiz is directly related to what your reward is for the quiz. So right now, currently, unless we get other funding, you're going to get $1 for completing the quiz. If you get 100%, $1 US. It's not a lot, but you have to remember this is not a single US dollar. It's actually Bitcoin SV that you're receiving. So with this Bitcoin SV, it is more than enough for you to develop in. Let me try and turn off this.
Your audio is a bit, yeah.
How about
Yeah,
now?
it's good and clear.
You guys hear me better?
Much
better?
better, Stop with the
Sorry
whole
about that.
thing, man.
No, I apologize. So, what's going to happen is, should I start over?
Yeah, the
Start
key aspects of
Okay.
it. Take us from the top. The key aspects, Nino.
Okay.
This what's the thing.
So, in 30 seconds, there's going to be a final exam on fifthwork.com, 5thwork.com. It will walk you through how to create an account. So do that in ahead of time. Don't wait till the last day. But Evan and I will have other days with you. Your performance on the test directly corresponds with how much BSV you are awarded after the class. It's up to $1 US currently without any extra funding from any of other sponsors. But that's enough. It's not for you to use as a dollar. It's in Bitcoin. It's for you to develop. It's for you to send and test transactions. It's our way of enabling you to actually build something. And so when we built Fifth Work, we sent transactions back and forth probably about 100 and 150 times. So it should be enough to help you design, test, and build a platform. That being said, the Ideathon is separate from the final, and that also has monetary awards with it as well. Can you guys still hear me? Should I try? Let me try these. Should I try these?
No, your audio is perfect. It's better
It was
now.
good? Okay.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Hear
Yeah.
you clearly.
Okay, I was gonna try my other headphones. All right, so any questions? I'll check the chat real quick. I'm sorry about my audio. I'm having flashbacks from yesterday.
Nino, there's a question. Are we allowed to start the NLT course on FIFWORK now?
If you, it'll be locked down for only those who are given an invite, and that will be based on the email addresses that I have associated with the people in this course. So if the email address in the No Long Ting bootcamp right now is the same as your account on FifthWork, you should be fine. If you don't get an invite to your email, let us know before the final date so that we can actually make sure you're getting the final. You're going to have 4 days. It's open book.
Nino,
So
hold up.
plenty of time.
Nino, hold up. Point of clarification. There's some people who didn't come through FIFWORK or FLC. So you definitely don't have the FLC emails, but you have the FIFWORK emails. And there's some other applicants who came neutral. So you definitely don't have their emails.
No, we'll get that from you. That's no problem. So anyone that's in this boot camp, we'll grab their emails. We'll make sure that everyone that's trying to take the final or everyone that's in this class is getting it. So so the No Long Ting is already loaded. The course is there. You can just see the content that I created for the last yesterday's course or 2 days ago's course. It's not comprehensive education at this point right now. That's just I was answering questions from students, and that gave me the format to do it. But you will not see the final until we actually load it, and it's based on the content of these courses and the discussions that we have. So the questions will change by the time that we get through this. If I made the questions now, they wouldn't be the same questions. They wouldn't be based on the contents that we're discussing. So it would be an unfair exam. You will be tested on what you are hearing. Keisha's performance to like his slides today, that information will be part of the exam. So just so you guys are knowing, or just so you guys are aware, you're going to be getting a random set of questions. All of you will get a different test. They're going to be pulled from a pool of questions, automatically generated from the content that you are being exposed to. All right, any questions?
And we're not here to fail you. We really want everybody to succeed, okay? Because there's another stage to this, okay? There's the actual, we'll tell you this later. Just keep attending, keep learning, and let's keep doing it, okay? Yeah. So we have Junaidu. His hand has been up for the past half an hour. Junaidu, come on, grab the mic and talk to us. I've unmuted you.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, evening.
And as you know, my name is Muhammad Junaid. My question here is like for the first couple of days, like a week ago in Nigeria here, we have been experiencing like bank networks, which is you cannot receive or even send money. And some of us, like we're using Bolt or Uber to go to work. And you use Bolt to go and work, and there's no need to transfer money to the Bolt or Uber you use to go to work. I don't know if I've been thinking of if there's a way like I can create an application that has to do with maybe NFT for the method of payment instead of using. Sometimes you may find it difficult. You don't have cash at hand, and the money you had in the bank, there's no need to transfer the money. So if there's no matter the emergency you are in at the moment, you cannot use bank, or if you don't have cash at hand, there's no way you can be able to make it possible to go to where you want to go. So I don't know if there's a way and like an application can be created for NFT to be maybe used as a method of payment instead of using like our currency naira or something in the bank. That's my question.
This is a very, very important point. And there might be, right? You might be able to create something to that effect, but SPV, simplified payment verification, which is on Bitcoin, all versions of Bitcoin, although only one version is making it actually usable. But SPV allows for payments to be made between people in front of each other, right? Like if I'm, going to your shop and you have, out somewhere far off away from any internet, but as long as that person has a phone, even if it's not connected to any network, they can accept, or any sort of digital device that has an SPV wallet, you can actually pay them in Bitcoin without the internet using NFC. Now, there's certain things that need to be done in order to, make sure that those, that those payments, because they're not connecting to the network immediately, there is a certain level of risk. Now, there's ways to mitigate the risk, and really the risk only is for large transactions. So if it was small transactions, and if you were like a known customer or whatever, like, things of that nature, then SPV would allow people to, pay, whether it's a digital Naira token on, BSV or whatever, right? They would still be able to actually pay without access to the internet. You'd still be able to pay people using near field communication. And, I obviously that wouldn't, fix the issue with calling an Uber, but, with micropayments, what you can do is you can allow people to start their own ISP businesses with very little infrastructure, and you can have it so that they can charge people by the second or by the data, like literally by the data that they use, with micropayments. And so somebody, for instance, in a village in Nigeria or wherever could purchase like a Starlink dish, and then they could even set up repeaters throughout the community, and everybody would be, paying for their usage of the internet with micropayments to whoever has this set up, right? So this is a model that I think would do really well in Nigeria. I've looked into it, and I think it would be possible soon to do that, and it would be really helpful for the rural communities, being able to and enable people to have businesses and create faster internet speeds, and improve the overall internet infrastructure in a lot of places.
All right, cool. Thanks, Evan. Now we have a few more questions, yeah? So let's start with Abdul Jabbar. Please unmute your mic. And guys, let's keep the questions short and precise, because right now we're in the guest lab session. Yesterday we really ran over time. So it's 12 minutes to 9. So we have half an hour. Sorry, let's say we have 45 minutes to go. We can spill over to like 50 minutes, but let's be precise so that everybody gets a chance, okay? So Abdul Jabbar.
Right. Incubation, runners up, and you talked about something, fifth work, successful.
Okay, hold on, Abdul Jabbar, just wait, just before you ask that question, Nino, please clarify this point, because many people from Nigeria are mentioning the energy outage issue. So is it correct that class attendance is important, but we understand that there's some factors beyond their control, so the assessment is what we'll mainly be looking at, but don't miss class if you don't have to, because some of the content in the assessment will be coming from class discussions. Yes?
Yeah. So that is exactly true. I mean, we understand that you are not going to be able to make every single session, which we originally anticipated you would. I don't know why we overlooked that. That's actually a bad on us. But in hindsight, we are going to accommodate you as best as possible, right? So our goal is not to restrict you from education. Our goal is to educate you to the best of our ability. That's why we're providing some of these classes and these videos after the fact. We're providing transcripts. We're trying to provide a way to enable you to get after the information when you can. And in the end, we want to see you succeed. So we'll do what we can to accommodate you. However, this is a certificate of achievement, meaning you have demonstrated that you understand this technology. And the way that we protect our names and our brand is by making sure you know the information. And that's what this final exam is going to be. Now, how the Ideathon ties into the graduation, we will discuss that later. But we'll get back to you with exactly what we're going to require for graduation. But at the time being, it's not going to be attendance. However, your performance on the exam and the pass or fail exam will be dependent on you knowing this information.
Yeah, so it's not a carte blanche for you guys to miss class, okay? It's highly important. Then the other thing I want to emphasize is we are working with partners like CARICOM. CARICOM is like the African Union or the European Union for the Caribbean. So we are trying to bring two different worlds together, Africa and the Caribbean as well. So within the Discord as well, exchange ideas, talk to each other. Maybe you living in Trinidad or Barbados, you need somebody in Nigeria for something, or vice versa. Like Barbados has even an air bridge for Africa. So there's direct flights from Barbados to Lagos and all that. So we are all somehow connected. So keep the conversation going. And to my Caribbean counterparts here in this group, I know there's Caribbean people in this group. Don't be quiet as well. Ask questions, because it's good for everybody to see what's happening on the other side of the world. You know, there's very many commonalities, you know, and we all have one origin as well, you know. So let's keep it going. Let's collaborate, okay? Now, who was asking the question? Abdul Jabbar, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, cool. Please be a bit loud, yeah?
Right. The incubation, completion of the course, and the idea bootcamp. So what happens to incubation? Who is going to participate, and what are the criteria? And you said certification and the bootcamp are two different things. Please, can you
Okay,
explain?
so when it comes to the incubation phase, that's in the phase 2 aspect, okay? No Long Ting Bootcamp is the build-up session. So it's a filter to like the bigger hackathon that is now going to be in real life. Sometime next year, early next year, we're going to finalize on the dates, and we're going to tell you. And from that hackathon, the best of the best of the best are going.
Sorry to cut you.
Yes.
I didn't get the first part. Please, can you start all over? I got a glitch in my...
Okay, Abdul Jabbar, I'm about to tell you to watch the YouTube, but I'll be nice because it's Thursday and I like Thursdays. Anyway, so No Long Ting, we're going to have like 2 or 3 No Long Tings in a year, and then we are going to have two or three venture builder events in a year. Are you clear up to that? Okay, Abdul Jabbar. Okay, let me just mute him and speak to everybody. So guys, there's going to be about 2-3 NLT events as this format of learning and understanding the concepts. Then based on your participation in the idea.
Yes.
I'm muting everybody. So based on your participation, the quality of your work, the quality of the ideas, what you're building, then we are going to whittle down and advertise. Okay, guys, just drop a letter R in the chat if you want me to repeat, because I'm speaking and someone keeps interrupting. So I've literally lost my train of thought. Yeah, so if you want me to take it from the top, please just put in an R. And please don't unmute yourself like that, yeah? So let me just exhaust this. Okay, cool. I'm going to repeat from the top. And this is for everybody. If you don't catch it, you catch it on the YouTube. So what we are trying to do, we are bringing you to the No Long Ting Bootcamp. So there's going to be about 6 events in a year. There's going to be 2 or 3 no long things, whereby we are trying to bring you within our system based on our experts and the specialists in the area, so that we expose you better than those courses you get online. As you can see, this is way better than the courses that people get online. All right. Then from that, based on your ideathon, the ideas you're bringing and the and the assessment, we are going to narrow down a few people, like the best of the best of the best in terms of performance and in terms of ideas. You can work together, you can work by yourself, you choose. Okay? We're going to reward you. Then we're going to have now a hackathon event next year, all right? Early next year, in the first quarter of the year. We're going to have an actual real life hackathon event. It's still going to be open to everybody. So even if you don't make it, we'll still open it up to the people, to everybody at large, okay? Now, the solutions that we're looking for are about sustainable development and sustainable solutions for your respective jurisdictions. But if you have your own idea as well, it could be part of the hackathon, all right? So the hackathon is going to be a pre-incubator phase. Okay? Then we're going to show you like what happens in venture building and all that. And then in the final stage, we will put you in an incubator sort of setup whereby you have, let's say, 10 participants with 10 different ideas building and, like giving them funds about £10,000 or something to build this idea and give them what we call, take them up to MVP stage. Is that not right, Nino?
Sorry, I was muted and I was talking to you. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be yeah, you've basically nailed it. We are whittling down to who has the most promising idea at this time, because I want our rewards, our effort, our money, our mentorship to go to those who are going to succeed. It's not a personal decision. It's simply, we would like to continue doing this, providing this education, and throwing our resources behind a horse that's probably going to win the race. That just makes the most sense.
Yeah, and at the same time, clarify that the Discord group doesn't end. So the community building and all that keeps going on in the Discord. Okay. So we're not saying because you're not top 10 or top whatever, we're not working with you anymore. You are with us forever and ever. We're gonna help everybody until everybody gets to where they wanna go in life, achieve in life rather.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's just I only have so much time. I only have so many mentors, so many contacts. And if I have 3 solutions in front of me and one of them is really likely to work with Soul, I'm going to try and direct them to Soul. If one of them works really well with BSV, I'm going to direct them to BSV too. This is just addressing some of the questions in the chat. So I'm not sponsored by anybody. I am Fifth Work. We are doing this entirely independent of anything. And I am results driven. I want to see results. I want to see success. I want to see winning. I'm not saying that we're not going to help everybody. We will. Example, the Discord. It's built for everybody. You're going to be on there forever. Unless you're doing something nefarious, you're always going to be part of that community. So there's going to be new developers coming in different times. There's going to be, like right now, let's say you have a really good idea that could be built on Sol, but we don't have, or Solana, and we don't have a developer for you right now. Well, that's not to say that next bootcamp, we don't happen to have a Solana developer come in who sees your idea, likes your team, decides to join you. This is as these boot camps continue, as our relationships build, as your network builds, we're just going to get stronger and stronger together. But my limited resources, I'm going to focus on the best performers. That's just the way the world works. I wish I had unlimited money and unlimited time for everybody and unlimited mentors and unlimited developers, but the reality is I don't. So submit your best idea, get a good team, find the right solution, find the right problem first, then solve that problem. And it has to make sense.
Yeah. And then in terms of like the open days, when we get to that stage of incubation and all, or even the hackathon, there'll be people, investors and all, coming to watch you. You know what I mean? So at all stages, that just keep doing your best, because you don't know who's gonna identify your talent. And you don't have to be the person winning like an award or anything for you to be at the best of your game, all right? There's people who are going to identify your quality and your project and all that. And that's why we said there's potential partnership opportunities, job opportunities, entrepreneur, co-founder opportunities, and all that. Like, we are basically going to expose you to all of our networks, okay? And we are bringing in more mentors. I spoke to someone today, Devon. He's going to be speaking next Thursday, I think. I'm gonna share with you that on WhatsApp tomorrow. And he works around banking and VC industries and all that. So basically, you just have to be impressive. That's all. Somebody somewhere will identify you for who you are. So just don't come here thinking you're just going to attend and get a certificate and that's that. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking at longevity and actually bringing actual change and development to the world. That's all for me, Now, Al Hassan, you have a question. And then we're going to go to Franklin and Chimezi.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm very, very audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, my question here is that it's regards to the NFT. So when I was studying in the university, there are some students that used to do fake examination examination cards. That's what we used to issue before starting examinations. So I think, can we use NFTs for verification for students to write their exams, for example? That's my question.
Nino, Evan?
Yeah, you could easily do that. I mean, we already do that with these NFTs that you're getting right now. So these NFTs that you're going to get, these certificates of achievement, if you pass the exam, you will be awarded a NFT that has your name on it, that says on it, you've proven that you understand these technologies, and it'll have our branding on there. So you have anyone in the world that you present that certificate to can come to us, and we will verify whether it is true or not based on the NFT. And fake NFTs are not going to pass that scrutiny. So could somebody create a fake certificate and try and pass it off? They could try, but any company that tries to verify that information, it would be easily debunked. So yes, you will get an NFT, and it is used to verify your education.
Thanks, Nino. Chimezi and then Franklin and Obakeng. We also want to hand the mic to you, Obakeng, because you had a very good question, and I think you should be allowed to to speak on it. So Chimezi, I'm asking you to unmute right now, please.
Okay, good evening. So my question, can you hear me, please?
Yes, loud and clear.
My question is this. Okay, I'm in the revenue sector in Imo State. There is Internal Revenue Service. So I got to, while we are doing the Fifth World Scholarship, I did a research and found out that I think Brazil used to collect revenue in blockchain also? I think blockchain or Bitcoin also. And I was looking at the possibility of also duplicating the same thing right here in Nigeria. And towards that period, I think there was a program we did in the office, a kind of summit. They identified that one of the challenges that we have in Nigeria was the record of Bitcoin owners, or let's say, I don't want to use Bitcoin owner, but the owners of crypto, the crypto owners, those that own cryptocurrencies. the inability to track those that own cryptocurrency was one of the major challenges of, let's say, taxing those that has cryptocurrencies. So I don't know, how can we in Nigeria leverage on NFT to track cryptocurrency owners so as to get taxes being paid by them? I don't know if the question is cleared.
So that is a very good problem. So you have definitely identified a problem you want to solve. People don't accurately record or report their currency ownership. And how could Nigeria use this technology to solve that problem? So the onus is on you to solve or to apply this technology, because I don't know the inner workings of Nigeria. I don't know how you normally track your people. I don't know how the government collects its taxes. I don't work in the IRS. I just simply don't know these things. So I can't design a solution for you. But what we can do is say, hey, I can create a ledger and I can have specific signing authorities on this ledger. And this is how you prove that the data hasn't changed. And here's how you save private information off chain, but you can still verify its authenticity with the chain. I can show you all these technologies. And as we are presenting these to you, you can formulate in your head the different ways to apply this information to solve that problem. So it's just simply a mix of our experience in the blockchain technology and your experience as an IRS professional or finance professional. We have to blend those, and that's what this boot camp is all about.
And Nino, I think just to chime in on that, I've been watching the Discord, and there's some fantastic expertise in there. Like I saw there's a data scientist in there, there's coders, there's developers and all that. Like literally, and there's lawyers here, like Palesa and them, the FLC girls. Come on, there's Hope, there's Winnie, there's Asteria, the FLC women, like they're all qualified lawyers, some students, Mercy and them. Like the ecosystem is man, it's crazy. I don't even have the words to say. Like it's crazy. You guys literally have the answers within yourselves. So it's just about sparking those conversations and collaborating on ideas. And you see, you'd rather have 10% of something that's generating revenue than 100% of a dead thing. Okay? You guys work together, you have lawyers and them amongst yourselves, draft contracts if you need templates and all that. Like I have subscriptions to LexisNexis and all those things I can share with you guys. Like we are literally here to help you. Okay, so you have those VC contracts or partnership contracts, teaming up agreements and all those things. Like we really just want to help you to succeed. All right. Obakeng, you had a question.
Oh, hi, Web Priestess. So am I audible to everyone? Can everybody hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, Obakeng.
Sweet, man. I was just looking at the Discord, same as you, and one thing I realized is we're not using the resources properly, but we're going to be getting to that. And one question I also had is, I see everybody here comes from different backgrounds, and I just wanted to ask, what made everyone get interested in the Web3 space? Because I think I haven't heard that from Nino and some of the other presenters as to the reason for them joining into this industry. Can you just answer that for me?
Nino, Evan, you wanna start that? Then I'll share my experience as well.
I'll defer to Evan.
Yeah, sure. So, I spent a lot of time in developing countries in Asia, and when I first heard about Bitcoin, I thought, oh wow, this is something that could be a way for people to not have to, go through all these different currencies. Cambodia, for example, using US dollars, Cambodian riel, and Thai baht, and the sort of intercommerce on the border there, which is, very important to those countries, and I know that's mirrored in a lot of other developing countries as well in Africa. So there was this real sort of, challenge when dealing with all these different currencies and the fluctuations in value. And so I had been studying economics at the time and hearing about Bitcoin. While I didn't, understand it at all, really, I immediately said, oh, well, this might be something, but, it wasn't so much, oh, I can make money from it or any of that. It was more of like a pure, oh, this is maybe a way for people to be able to do business globally without having to exchange their currencies. But it took quite a few years for me to really kind of come around to it and understand it to the level where I realized, oh, this is something very big and much more useful than I had previously thought. But yeah, fundamentally, it is a tool. It is a very powerful tool that I think, if you use correctly or use well, can benefit you and your community and your society, and the whole world. And I'm one of those people that does want a better world for everyone. I want a much better world. I feel like we can have a much better world, and really we're our own sort of barrier to it. And obviously a lot of our entrenched ideas on how things should be versus how things could be do need to be challenged. And I think blockchain fundamentally challenges everything in a good way. And it really allows the individual to compete based on their merit. And it allows for people to interact with each other fairly. So yeah, that's, you want to give it a go?
Yeah. For me, I had the opportunity to adopt Bitcoin, BTC, in its infancy, and I didn't, and I regretted that quite a lot, because I wasn't given one chance. I was given about 2 or 3 chances within the first couple of years, and I didn't follow through with it. And so immediately it was money. I was like, man, I really missed out. I don't want to miss out on this again. But one of the first people I called was actually Evan. And I called Evan and we talked about it, and he shared with me his feelings. And, I'm a volunteer through and through. My whole life I volunteered. I was a volunteer firefighter. I was a missionary. I mean, if I have something, I can't hold on to it. I will give it away or help somebody in some way. That's just what I enjoy doing. And when he explained to me, like, not necessarily the money portion of it, but how you could use the utility of blockchain to solve all these different problems, I was hooked immediately. And I was like, yeah, we need to do something. And that's actually how Fifth Work came about. With COVID, I found myself with a surplus of time, and I was like, I can't not do something. I want to do something. And so, very beginning of COVID, we designed it. We prototyped Fifth Work, and I'm like, this is it. This is the future of education. Like, we have completely revised the middleman. We've removed. I'll tell you what it was. So I go to. I used to live in Hawaii, and the school that my kids go to sent us a letter and said, we only receive $20,000 a year to educate your kid. Please donate more to help us survive. And I thought, that is an insane amount of money for one student. Where is this going? Because it doesn't go to the students and it doesn't go to the teachers. So I saw this huge vacuum of where, oh man, again, I saw this vacuum of space or a vacuum of money, where money was being spent on the wrong people. So we redesigned Fifth Work to where now the students get the lion's share. And the content is already there in most cases. And these middlemen don't need to exist at all. And what's nice about Fifth Work is we don't want your money. If you give me money, I will give it to a student. I will empower somebody else to build something. So most of my partners are like that. I'm not to say we don't need money, because obviously we do to operate, but I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to have $1 million. If I had $1 million, I would immediately try and give it up. So it's for me, it was a no-brainer. I saw a need, I saw the technology, I placed the technology onto the problem, and we built Fifth Work. And it took us a couple years to be profitable, but we didn't have the support that you guys are getting. And I feel like we've learned the lessons that we learned from becoming a company, and we can kind of we've already trailblazed that path for you guys, and we want to just now put you on that path and then kind of push you along to where you can make your own products and solve your own problems. But that's why I got into this. I saw a problem. Well, actually, I was greedy at first. Then I saw the problem, and then I applied the technology to the problem. But that's where I'm at now. And ultimately, I think something that I do want to not forget is a goal. When we get to our next, not our next, but our last education session, we're going to talk about SMART goals. And that helps us realign Fifth Work. And even though this technology exists, even though we already have the platform, we already have the network, what we don't sometimes have is that mission. We have to keep refocusing on that mission and readopting our business model and our business plan to achieve that goal, which is replace all education across the world and educate everybody, and employ children to go to school so that they don't have to work instead of going to school. I feel like education solves so many of the world's problems. And if we can get after that and really solve that problem, a lot of these other problems will solve themselves. But that's my story, I guess.
Thanks.
I'm skipping some parts, but yeah, that's the majority of it.
I'm going to give them a really quick overview of my story. So I used to be a DJ, all right, guys? So I used to headline events across Africa, but then I said, I want to start running my own events, all right? So I started running my own events, and we kept losing money at the point of sale. So there's various points of sale. There's ticketing at the entrance, and there's also like the different vendors. Like, if people are selling snacks and all in the event, they don't really pay you what you're supposed to be getting. So I got into cashless ticketing. So if you go, like people in Trinidad or the Caribbean, when there's carnival, and I'm guessing in Nigeria as well, when you go to concerts, there's those wristbands you're given, okay? So you don't have to have money in the event or anything, all right? So Ethereum came about at that time in 2015, and we wanted to figure out how these smart contracts are going and the blockchain can work alongside the ticketing platform. And then I went to law school, started my law degree. I kept that on the side, went to law school, and as a lawyer studying, they always tell you, and this is to all the lawyers in the group, like if you're a fresh lawyer, you will never make the amount of money that the experienced lawyers are making and all that. So you're always at the bottom of the pile. You know what I mean? So COVID came. And with my knowledge of Bitcoin and Ethereum and all, I'm like, the world is literally at a standstill. So for those senior attorneys who think we are rubbish and all that, how do we level it up? Because you will, like in criminal law, you will never get the top cases as a junior. You'll be given the worst shit that you have to do, yeah? Or for civil cases, you'll never go to like the Court of Appeal or whatever. But then COVID came and it levelized the ground for everybody. So we were shown that things like Zoom could happen, and technology could solve so many different problems for different people. And I was like, you know what? Let me refresh my blockchain knowledge. Then I did BSV courses. I didn't even know Nino or Evan existed. I met these guys about 2 years or 1 year ago in London at the London Blockchain Conference. But I said, I'm going to teach myself this thing. So I did literally all the BSV courses, all the other platforms, the white papers and all, any and every assessment that was out there, I started doing it. Then on LinkedIn, I started like building my network specifically around people, following people on LinkedIn and Twitter who talk about this technology. So I just soaked myself in the industry. Then I started writing. I was begging people to write articles for them, so like you write like 3,000 words for nothing. But the more I wrote and exposed myself to the area of law, the more I started getting like, oh, come and say something small, come and do a presentation and all that, until I reached this level. And as people of color, we don't big up ourselves enough. We like being modest, and we have imposter syndrome as well. So you might be doing something good and you don't even know. So for me, I know the old school people are not taking this world anywhere. All right. So it's time for the youth and the women, because women tend to be more pragmatic than men in saying things. That you won't have those fights for political seats and all that for a long time with corruption and all that. So for me, my dream is to empower women and the youth, and for the future generations. Today I was in a meeting where there's like and to very high stakeholders, and they're like, this thing sounds theoretical and impractical and all that. I told them, you sound very peculiar, because you're denying the future, you're denying the kids of the future a future or sustainability. Okay, so that's my journey in this, trying to create opportunities for everybody, because the use case, the idea that snaps in your brain is always unique. It's unique, and it's for you to build on it, chase it. It might seem difficult, it might seem remote. And I know like yesterday, some people are floating in Craig's class because it was technical, but then some of you really stuck through it, And it just goes to show, when you have tenacity and thick skin, you can be anything and everything you want. So we want to help you. We really want to help you to succeed. And I literally, just like Nino and Evan, we invest our own time, our own money, like to make things happen on the platforms we generate for you to like enroll, the artwork and all those things, the videos. It's not free. You guys might see it and take it for granted, but it really takes resources from us. And we are just not saying it's for a particular type of person. We don't care where you're from, what you do, how you look, how you sound. Like, just do this and take it and change the world. Because when there's opportunity and resources, you can just redefine your universe to whatever it is that you want it to be. So that's our story for you people. And that's my motivation, basically. So I don't know why you all joined, but yeah, guys, like, let's just keep killing it. Questions? One last question, guys. It's 5 to the top of the hour. Thank you so much for the love and the feedback, like on there. Like, literally, yeah. And people from the Caribbean, like I know even you guys are modest, and people from Africa, like we all tend to be modest, It's not like I don't know how to say it, but but just appreciate what you're doing, and you have a strong background. if you Google Evan Freeman, you'll see he's like one of the people who wrote the courses of Bitcoin Association. You have Nino, like guys, you have people like Sarah who came in. You're gonna have Matt Green, the Bitcoin solicitor. Like literally, we are bringing. You have Keish and Michael. We are literally bringing you the best of the best of the best. You will never find such people in one forum at any given time. So take advantage of this and keep building. Oh, there's questions. Oh, Favor, you want to unmute your mic? Actually, Favor, just hold up. Franklin has really been trying to speak. Let's allow Franklin a chance. Sorry, Franklin, please go first.
Good evening. Good evening, Nino. Good evening, Blockchain Lex. Good evening, everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
First, I want to say a very big thank you to you guys organizing this program. Like a big thank you. Like I don't know how to say it, but it's a very big thank you. That's why I said Nino for president, actually.
Thank you. That's nice.
Thank you guys so much. Actually, I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you to you guys, actually. No question, actually. It's just thank you, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming here. I
Yeah,
mean, we
thank
can't build everything, so it's nice to have help.
Favor?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. Nino, thank you. In fact, this whole motivation is something we need from time to time because if you have tried one or two solutions and it's proving not sustainable, you'll be discouraged. So I'm actually at the agricultural field for food security and kind of connecting young people who do not have, jobs or who are actually discouraged going into agriculture because of the risk. So the idea is my own specification is on plant varieties and has to do with getting good sustainable varieties in the hands of farmers. But I want to see how NFT can actually solve the problem of getting the youth involved and then getting them rewarded. Not just, climate change is doing a lot of things, making people
Hello?
to, get. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Brian. How can I help?
Favor.
Can you?
Why, of
Yes.
course.
I'm here with you. I don't know what's really
We can
going
hear
on,
you,
but
Favor. No worries. We can hear you. So you want to see how can you apply rewarding young people for getting into agriculture?
yeah.
Is that the problem you're trying
Yeah.
to solve? Just getting young
Yes,
people
yes.
into agriculture.
Yes. That's
Okay.
it.
When you say agriculture, what part of agriculture?
Well, I think I would love the supply chain, not necessarily the production, because sometimes, because of the challenges in Nigeria, we might have little bit issues with drudgery during work. But the issue of taking this food from farmers' hand to the supply,
Okay.
and
So
yeah,
there's already a solution that exists that does that very well. I forget the name of it, but they were at London Blockchain in 2023. They actually track the entire process from farmer to market. They attach something to the fruit that they have a way of tracking it. I don't know the whole supply chain part of it. I don't do supply chain, but that solution exists. You can probably leverage their solution to try and incentivize young people. We'll try and network you. Put your problem together, identify your problem, name it whatever you want, create a group on the Discord, right? So it'll be like encourage youth to join agriculture or something like that, right? So create that group, submit your question to us. I will find the people that already do that, and they're going to have the network that you need. They're going to know the technology better than you. That's who you need to work with. But they're looking for people like you who already have these markets that they want to break into and expand their business. So it's a mutually win-win situation. We just have to connect you. So please make that group, submit your question, and then we'll connect you with the right people.
All right, thank you so much.
I believe that's time. Brian, I think we can actually end on time today.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just scrolling through the chat and just to see if there's anything. Okay. Okay, guys. I've shared my LinkedIn. I've requested Evan to share his. Nino doesn't have any social networks, guys. Nino lives like a ninja in the shadows. Okay.
Sorry.
So he has no socials.
I have history with social networks. I don't like them. I don't like how prying they are. But I really have nothing. I apologize, but you can reach me on that Discord. So that's where you can reach me. Thank you.
All right, cool. If there's wait, let me just read it's the cyber background. Yeah, Obakeng. Nino needs to tell us what he does. Hey, there's a hand raise. Let's give this hand raise a chance. Hey, Fazui, first of all, you came in late, but thanks still for coming, yeah? So let me unmute you. We'll end it at at 9:40. So 8 minutes to go. And any random comments, commentary, anything. Oh, and I really want to encourage the Caribbean crew, man. Like, I know you guys have things and solutions you want to handle in your ends as well. So it's good for people to hear you out. Yeah, don't be quiet. And there's people from other parts of the world like Chile, Indonesia, hey, Lesotho, like, hey, there's plenty people here, Uganda, like it have everybody in here. Fazui, I've unmuted you.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Brian. Good evening, Mr. Nino.
Yeah.
Like I introduced myself earlier, Fasuya Bidemi. I'm a registered engineer here in Nigeria. First of all, I want to appreciate everyone. Mr. Nino, I have a lot of questions for you. I wish I could just see you here and just pop up all my questions. So I want to know the first one. Is there any way I can partner with Fifth Work? Like, since we are into education, can I be able to introduce some courses over there so that people in Africa or people anywhere can see courses that relates to engineering? That's number one. The second one, I think I will leave that for tomorrow.
You can put it in the Discord too. So I look at the Discord when I have time. But yes, you could put courses, whatever you want on Fifth Work. If it's information that's valuable that somebody would be willing to pay another person to learn, then yeah, it has a place on Fifth Work. Whether corporate education, engineering, it doesn't matter. If it's valuable information, yeah. There's most likely someone that will sponsor it, and there's definitely students that need it.
Jola David.
Okay. Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hi, and Brian. Thank you for this opportunity. I had actually written a question on the group because I'm into 3D modeling for oil and gas assets, and I was looking at how maybe NFTs could help tokenize like, let's say, pipes or platforms or members that make up platforms, such that they are unique and identifiable. And well, the thought is still not very clear in my head, but why I ask is that the 3D models capture the assets in time. So if I have a model right now of an oil and gas asset, I have that model for that particular time. But through the timeline of the assets, things may change due to maintenance, faults, and then there may be need for changes. And I was just looking at a situation where the when the models are tokenized, so that when changes are made over time, it is easy to see how the lifespan of the assets changes over time. Just a way to keep record of these changes and the development on the assets over time. Just something like that. I don't know. It's just something I was thinking. So I was looking at the possibility that NFTs could help tokenize, make them unique items, so that those changes can be easily identifiable, even if the members are the same. Maybe I change one and I replace it with another one, exactly the same type, but I could tell by maybe the timestamp, that okay, this was at a time like this, and it was changed to this after some maintenance that happened at so time. So I'm just looking at something like that.
Nino, you want to address that? Oh, and Nino, before you address that, guys, listen, in terms of your intellectual property, so some of you might not be comfortable sharing your ideas on the Zoom. It's fine. Nobody is forcing you. If you want to reach out to Nino and Evan to help you like beef up the ideas, that's fine, okay? You don't have to do it on the Zoom. Like, do whatever makes you comfortable. And
Yeah.
we're not here to steal from each other and all that, but you never know.
Yeah,
Maybe there's
I
somebody
I
out
would
there that
recommend you actually share these, create a private group or a public group on the Discord. Ask more specific questions. Yeah, this is going to be a hard part because we can't promise that everyone is what's the word? The opposite of nefarious.
everybody is good.
Yes, we can't. Yeah, like we can't speak for everyone's motivations for being here, but do protect yourself. Obviously, I'm from a security background. If you don't want to share something, don't. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't. If you feel like you might regret it later, don't. So please put your questions. If they're more broad questions that won't give away your idea, please put them in the chat. If they are very specific questions and you're not comfortable sharing it, reach out to us privately. You own your IP. We're not going to try and take that away from, at least I won't. Fifth Work will not try and take that away from you. So I want to help you build something. But again, understand that my motivations are to make money, to educate more students. So I do at some point want royalties or something along those lines to support my endeavors. But again, you'll see with who I am, and as you get to know me, that I'm not a greedy person. I'm not. That's just not what I do. But yes, please take. I second what Brian is saying. Please take care of yourself. And I honestly forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, it's a long thing. It's about the 3D NFT thing. We won't have time for that. But guys, listen. Tomorrow we have Sarah once again, and she's coming guns blazing tomorrow. Please be prompt on time. Don't look at the next person who's coming or who hasn't or how many people are there. Don't look at that. At times when the trumpet to the gates of heaven open or call, you have to be there by yourself. So just be there and learn, and let's build together. Those who are late and whatever, we're going to catch up with them on the Discord or on the WhatsApp or on the YouTube recordings, all right? So this has to be a long stop for me because right now I'm going to do my library work as well, my research and all that. So I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. Stay blessed. One love. See you tomorrow. Be there on time. Bye.